Former governor of Illinois, Blagojevich, yes, that is a mouthful to say, has some things to say about Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, things you probably haven't heard about prior to him being the president and prior to being a senator. And it's interesting to always hear the inside stories, some stories that may reframe the way you think about these individuals, these politicians. We all know we don't trust any of them to begin with, but it is an interesting thing to hear, interesting story. So let's get into this. But before we do, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to Resist the Mainstream, because it ensures to YouTube that you're enjoying these videos, and in turn, they will continually show up in your feed and push it out to more people. I'm Titus. Let's get into this video.
I thought Obama was all right, kind of cold and impersonal, but okay. And I was happy to be helpful. But he's one of the more selfish people in politics on a one-on-one level. And he's not pure like the driven snow in the sense of his ethics or morality. And, Tony Rezko is the guy who bought this lot next to Obama's home. And one of the things I write about in my book is that when I was governor first, and then Barack won in 2004, I was asked to make a phone call on behalf of Michelle Obama, because as soon as he won the Senate race, she wanted a job either at Northwestern University or the University of Chicago hospitals for $200,000 to $300,000 a year, the wife of the new senator. And I was asked, would you call? And
was she specific about how much she wanted?
Yeah. And
she was specific about salary?
Yeah. And
get that bag, Michelle. I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal to benefit off the position that you're in, as long as you're qualified for it, right?
I think Northwestern, we should double check this, but I think my recollection is good. I think Northwestern was willing to pay $200,000 to hire her. This is the wife of the new U.S. senator, and federal money for, Medicaid and Medicare, things like that. And then they got a better offer at the University of Chicago, which is in Hyde Park, where they're from, $300,000, and she ended up working there. And I called to help, because you help people in politics, and the guy's wife wants a job, I'll make a phone call. He didn't get it. She didn't get it because of me.
You help people in politics. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you don't help people in politics unless it somehow helps you. But okay, Rod.
But it didn't hurt to have the governor call and say,
the second Obama gets elected, Michelle says, I want a job at one of two hospitals for between $200,000 and $300,000.
That's correct. Yeah. And she ended up working at the University of Chicago Hospital. I'm almost certain $300,000 a year. And so Rezko was really helpful to Obama. And so when the investigations against me heated up, it had to do with fundraising, and Tony was part of that. And I got to say this, Tony suffered. He spent 8 years in prison. I don't know whether those things that they said he did were even legal. Based on what they did to me, I'm not so sure they were illegal. It had nothing to do with my administration. They were business matters. But Obama just ran from him, did nothing to help him. And
the dirty word of politics, the dirty world of politics, where you guys are also serving and prioritize your own success and trajectory over actually doing the right thing. There's so many sketchy things that go on behind closed doors when it comes to politicians, when it comes to media, when it comes to mainstream media, when it comes to social media influencers. All these people are opportunists. The next possible thing that they can get at that's going to bring them another level, they're going to take that opportunity. And if there's someone in their past who they have any sort of relation to that is going to bring them down, they will cut them off faster than you can say hi. That's the first thing I could think of. So I don't know if that's the thing people say, but anyways, I'm not surprised to hear this. But it does kind of put a taint the image of the Obamas who are portrayed to be these upstanding, kind-hearted, selfless people. So that's not a great look.
Pretends like he never knew him. And yet the moment he became senator, she gets that $300,000 a year job with a little help, tiny little bit of help from me with a phone call. And then they buy this mansion in the Kenwood neighborhood, which is Hyde Park, Chicago. Beautiful old mansions where the family of Leopold and Loeb, they lived, right?
So a lot of sickos in that neighborhood going back 100 years.
Well, those two boys were.
Yeah, they
right.
were.
I mean, it's a bastion of liberal America there.
Dickie Loeb.
Having a mansion as a senator, I mean, I'm not opposed to you having a mansion per se, but I don't think the salary is pays you well enough to be able to get some massive mansion. But don't they have a few now? But of course, he was president, and speeches and all that stuff where they pay you $100,000 just to give a 30-minute speech.
So what happened was the Obamas bought this mansion now he's the new senator. The first thing they do is buy a mansion. I guess he felt like I was getting a mansion because I was the governor. It wasn't mine, but I got the use of a 50,000 square foot governor's mansion. I guess they wanted their own. So they could only afford.
It's just me. Is it really that because you were getting a mansion, they wanted a mansion, or did they just want a mansion? What's the correlation with you? I know you had a relationship, but you're not making it seem like it was that close. It seemed like political buddies. Let's help each other move along in this world of corruption. Anyways, it's funny they said that.
750,000. So they purchased the lot with the house on it, the mansion on it, but they couldn't afford the adjoining lot. So they asked Rezko to buy it for them, and he did. And
the guy they screwed over later, or detached their affiliation with.
My understanding of the federal investigations with me were also connected to Obama, that these guys were apparently looking into that and some other things. Along the way, the dynamic changed, and Obama started moving up in the presidential race. And here again, I did something I'd like to take back, but I was the first governor in America to endorse him for president. We had a personal relationship from Illinois, and he was running against Hillary, so it wasn't hard.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020, right? What was that, 2008? It's 2025. Man, I wish I could take back endorsing him. Is it because we're in Trump's America now? Or do you actually mean that, sir? I'm just saying, I don't trust a politician as far as you can throw him. But also, whatever kind of mess you were involved in legally that got you in legal trouble, also not very comforting when it comes to believing the words that come out of your mouth. But I'm not surprised that the Obamas or anyone in the political world would behave or act this way.
But what ultimately happened was, when he started rising, Axelrod, David, who used to work for me and then went on to Obama, I knew what they were doing. They were, for political reasons, they were, influencing the media to pretty much Tony me up more than Obama. I was more Tony'd up. And Tony was a supporter and a friend, and he was, and I liked Tony in spite of everything that's happened to him. But Obama knew him and loved him longer. And Tony had done more for Obama over the years than he did for me. And ultimately, politically and in the media just conveniently ignored Rezko's relationship to Obama. They would give it very little coverage.
Of course. Barack Obama was supposed to be the next president. He did become the next president of the United States. And that wouldn't be a good look to be affiliated with someone who's having legal trouble, right? So they were just doing what they had to do, even if Obama had a closer relationship to him than you did, Rod. But, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Do you think that Obama is as sketchy as this guy is saying, that he's done all out of this stuff, this lack of loyalty? I mean, I'm sure y'all do. And I don't know. Do you think that there's more that he's not telling us? I always wonder, if we're getting told the truth by all these political stories of people, especially when they want to tell you way later in life. Like, this is almost like 20 years later from when Obama was running for office, and it's like, man, all this stuff I'm now saying. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not true, and it's the likelihood that it is. What are you hiding though? Like, same with like the files, the files. It's like, y'all, a lot of these people in government, y'all know who's on it, and if you're on it. We're all like, oh, I don't know. Anyways, comment down your thoughts below. I don't know what you guys are thinking, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.